I believe my office arranged a rental car for me.
Yes, ma'am. It's on the tarmac.
Thank you. Seems a little excessive. You have anything a little more unassuming?
Oh, your office asked for a luxury sedan?
How about something a little more unassuming?
I'm not sure.
Something that doesn't stand out.
That won't stand out in Midland. I wouldn't drive it in Odessa.
Good to know. I'm that easy to spot, huh?
Wasn't difficult. You want a drink?
Yeah, a club soda.
Hey, bud, club soda for the lady.
Just so you know, that is a non-alcoholic drink.
This must be your hobby, because you damn sure don't want a fucking tip.
I'd prefer if you didn't refer to me as the lady.
Oh, did I guess wrong? I'm so sorry, sir. And hats off to the plastic surgeon that shaved that Adam's apple.
My first day in the oil fields, and it doesn't disappoint. It is as offensive as I imagined.
You know the sharks you work with? You soulless fucks represent the Bin Laden family, for Christ's sakes. You should be thanking me for calling you lady. You may never hear it again in your line of work. I'm sorry, but I lost 3 friends and a finger today, so I'm a little edgy.
I didn't know they were friends.
They were friends.
I'm sorry. We need to shift our focus from TTP to the incident this morning. It lends itself to more exposure.
You're the attorney.
Can you take me to the incident site tomorrow?
I can take you right now.
Great.
All right?
Let's go.
Hey, bud, we'll take care of this.
Yep. You want change?
I can't believe you said that with a straight face. Of course I'm gonna fucking change. Sorry about the dust.
It's a rental. So who besides insurance companies and county sheriff investigate this?
Hell, everybody, OSHA, Railroad Commission, DPS. Shouldn't you know all this shit if you're litigating a petroleum liability case?
My specialty is chain of liability, which applies to the TTP case. Not so much here. This happened when I was on the plane.
Maybe they should send another attorney.
I understand one of them survived.
No.
Can I speak with him?
Not today.
When?
How about when he gets out of the fucking hospital? Anything else?
What can you tell from this?
From the well, nothing. From the type of fire, there was a leak. A roughneck created a spark when he tried to open the valve with a hammer and a wrench.
Why would he try to open it with a hammer?
Because that's how you open the fucking things.
Doesn't seem very safe.
That's not very safe. That's why they make 180 grand a year.
That's not enough money to risk your life on.
Yeah, for you maybe. For a felon with an 8th grade education, it's a fucking lottery ticket.
And for an oil company whose manager knowingly sends employees to faulty wells that violate OSHA standards, it's a 9-figure lawsuit.
Well, then the whole goddamn industry's guilty.
I'm on your side, Tommy. You need to understand that.
Yeah, I understand plenty. You're the farthest thing from being on my side.
God, they're massive.
400 feet tall. The concrete foundation covers 1/3 of an acre and goes down in the ground 12 feet.
Who owns them?
Oil companies, We're using the power of the wells. There's no electricity out here. We're off the grid.
They use clean energy to power the oil wells.
They use alternative energy. There's nothing clean about this.
Please, Mr. Oilman, tell me how the wind is bad for the environment.
You have any idea how much diesel they have to burn to mix that much concrete? Or make that steel and haul this shit out here and put it together with a 450-foot crane? You want to guess how much oil it takes to lubricate that fucking thing? Or winterize it? And its 20-year lifespan, it won't offset the carbon footprint of making it. And don't get me started on solar panels and the lithium in your Tesla battery. And never mind the fact that if the whole world decided to go electric tomorrow, we don't have the transmission lines to get the electricity to the cities. It'd take 30 years if we started tomorrow. And unfortunately for your grandkids, we have a 120-year petroleum-based infrastructure. Our whole lives depend on it. And hell, it's in everything. That road we came in on, the wheels on every car ever made, including yours, it's in tennis rackets and lipstick and refrigerators and antihistamines, pretty much anything plastic. Your cell phone case, artificial heart valves, any kind of clothing that's not made with animal or plant fibers, soap, fucking hand lotion, garbage bags, fishing boats, you name it. Every fucking thing. And you know what the kicker is? We're gonna run out of it before we find its replacement.
It's the thing that's gonna kill us all. As a species.
No, the thing that's gonna kill us all is running out before we find an alternative. And believe me, if Exxon thought them fucking things right there were the future, they'd be putting them all over the goddamn place. Getting oil out of the ground's the most dangerous job in the world. We don't do it because we like it. We do it because we run out of options. And you're out here trying to find something to blame for the danger besides your boss. There ain't nobody to blame but the demand that we keep pumping it. What kind is it?
I don't know, the fucking big kind?
Does it have rattles on its tail?
Fuck. Yes.
Well, don't touch it.
I don't know what to do. What do I do? Can I walk away?
That'd be at the top of my list, yeah.
Oh my God, it's moving.
I don't understand why you're not moving. God damn it.
You didn't have to kill it.
Well, I didn't have to kill it till you stood there and dared the goddamn thing to bite you. It left me one option. Good set of rattles there. Are you gonna come back to the truck, or are you gonna wait here for a fucking mountain lion?
I want to walk back to the truck.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, what the fuck? It's just a stick. Why did you park so far away?
I didn't park so far away. That's how far away you walked.
Why did you not report it to local authorities?
Because local authorities have no jurisdiction. It's the responsibility of the FAA to report any theft to local law enforcement, if in fact it was a theft. I don't own or manage the plane. I don't control the manifest, and as far as I know, it could have been chartered or leased out.
Objection. Speculation.
If you didn't want an answer, you shouldn't have asked the question, number one. Number two, this is a deposition. Who is your objection directed toward?
It's directed toward your client.
Which is to say it's directed toward me. In that case, objection is overruled.
Isn't it fun being out of law school?
Maybe you should go back. Since you clearly do not understand how a deposition works, he is testifying under oath to questions you ask. The only person who can object is me. I can tell him not to answer.
You can advise, and his failure to answer questions will be addressed in court.
Which it should be, instead of wasting our fucking time in deposition.
Can we pause recording? Can counsel speak?
By all means.
Let's step into the conference room. Have a seat.
I'm fine.
Listen, hon, we were playing the pissed off litigator while you were still being bathed by your daddy.
My father died before I was born, defending your right to say offensive and sexist remarks like the ones you just uttered here in front of 6 witnesses, all of whom are attorneys and 3 of whom are women. So if this is how you talk to a woman in front of a court reporter, I wonder what interesting tales they have to tell about those late-night discovery sessions.
Let's just take the temperature down a notch.
Take the temperature down? We are not the ones who are seeking depositions. Let me point the facts of this case out to you, all right? Your driver used a private road owned and constructed by my client without permission.
We had permission.
I've seen no such document submitted by counsel.
Permission was verbal.
Permission from who?
Tommy Norris.
Would you ask Mr. Norris to come in here, please?
Listen, let's...
I'm done speaking to you.
May I speak?
Feel free.
I know where you're going with this, and you need to understand a verbal agreement is legally binding in the state of Texas.
If it can be proven. Did you give permission for TTP to use our cutoff to Highway 285?
When 302 was closed for night construction, they asked if they could use a bypass, and I allowed them to.
Did they ask for that courtesy to be extended beyond the closure of the highway?
They did not.
Were you or any MTEX employees aware of their continued use of the road?
I wasn't, and I can't speak for anybody else.
You had restricted permission, which had expired. You made no request to extend it. The plane in question was reported stolen and was in possession of the thieves at the time of the accident. But even if it hadn't been stolen, we could land it in the middle of the road whenever we want. It's our fucking road. You had no right, easement, lease, nor permission to use the road. To assert otherwise is false, and the mere insinuation we were complicit in the theft of the plane is defamatory and will be treated as such. Not to mention multiple attempts on record of your partner making a derogatory statement about my gender and stating that I bathed with my father, falsely insinuating an incestuous and criminally sexual relationship with a deceased Army Ranger.
Uncle, we get it.
Do you? Think they hired me because I'm pretty? I charge $900 an hour, you asshole, and you're real close to learning why. So, here's what you're going to do. You're gonna drop this bullshit claim. You, your client, and your insurance company are going to circle up and take your 8-figure settlement like men, or I will sue this firm, your client, and your insurance company for defamation, slander, frivolous and malicious prosecution, intentional infliction of emotional distress, mental anguish, and anything else I can come up with. And when this is over in 7 years, you will be disbarred, and I will hang your law degrees over my fucking toilet. I'd like to start out by saying this feels inappropriate. Meeting in your residence.
It is also my office.
MTEX doesn't have an office in town.
We have remote offices that move with the rigs and satellite offices at the man camps, but I promise you would find those more inappropriate. Do you want some coffee?
I'm fine.
So it breaks down like this. 3 widows, 8 dependents. Youngest is 3 months. I was thinking something like $250 per household, plus a college fund. MTechs could invest that money now and essentially pay the tuition with the ROI, minus the 3 teenagers. It makes for a very attractive and compassionate offer that addresses the short-term needs and longer-term concerns of the families.
Are you including the cash value of their 401ks in that $250?
I am not.
So in the case of Luis, it's more like a $600,000 offer.
Not really. They're entitled to the 401k regardless of a settlement.
They don't know that.
Their attorney will.
Do they have attorneys?
Not to my knowledge.
We're gonna make this deal before they get them.
Let me just check the insurance company.
Don't you dare. The insurance company isn't going to offer them anything. They're going to investigate for a year, claim it was negligence on the part of the employees, and then wash their hands of it. There is no cap for economic or punitive damages for wrongful death in Texas, and this is a $40 or $50 million lawsuit per incident. We won't let it get that far. If they don't bite at $250, we will offer $300. If they don't bite there, $400. And if they still don't bite, I scare the shit out of them for an hour, and then we offer $500. We are leaving each house with a check on their table and a fucking signature on our settlement.
Hi, Rebecca.
Still spring breaking?
Yeah. Are y'all working?
We're almost done.
Do you have a swimsuit?
Not on me.
Oh, well, you can borrow one of mine.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work waiting for me back at the hotel, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Dang it.
I know, right?
Do y'all want some popcorn?
Popcorn? No, I do not. Thank you.
Mate,
Oh, no, thanks.
it's only 30 calories a cup.
Still, thanks.
Okay. Change your mind.
Are you kidding me?
I know.
Sexual harassment lawsuit's literally writing itself.
I have made that point.
I will make it clearer.
Nothing would please me more. This is called a bereavement offer. It means we recognize the challenges your families face and want to help you overcome those challenges.
Mira la cantidad, qué grande. What's the catch?
No catch.
What do you want from us?
Nothing. Just your signature at the bottom that you received them.
What does indemnify mean?
That refers to liability and waiving assertions of culpability.
What's an assertion? And what's culpability?
Those are legal terms. It just means you can't decide in 10 years that the accident was our fault.
What if it was your fault?
It wasn't our fault. It wasn't your husband's fault. It wasn't anyone's fault.
But what if it was?
Then you'd have to prove it. You'd have to hand that check back, go hire a lawyer, one better than our lawyers, and prove it was our fault. While we try to prove it was yours.
What she means is none of us wants to fight. This is a tragedy, and we would rather openly offer money to help you through it than fight about blame.
But if you're not to blame, why would you offer us anything?
Because it's cheaper than proving it.
Excuse me.
Ariana, this isn't an attempt to coerce you. We are trying to help you and your son.
I think it's worth pointing out, if you refuse, we will be forced to withhold payment to the other families.
The other family signed.
They signed an agreement that we have yet to sign because we are waiting on you.
Agreement signed what?
That didn't take long. This is a private matter, sir.
I'd like him to see it. Did you look at this for me?
Yeah.
And you are?
Cooper.
Cooper. Cooper Norris?
Yes, ma'am.
We've been looking everywhere for you. So they sent you for a wrench, and while your back was conveniently turned, the pump jack blew.
No, I was running back from the truck when it blew.
Why were you running?
Because that's what you do. You hurry. When someone asks for something, you haul ass.
And he needed this tool to...
I don't know why.
I'm assuming the tool, a wrench, yes?
Pipe wrench.
A pipe wrench would be the proper tool to secure a valve.
Lady, it was my second day. I didn't know the proper way to do anything.
Right. What we are offering her and the other family members is almost $500,000 each. That is enough to pay off her mortgage, cover her bills for 2 decades, and still put that baby through college. But if the choice is to seek damages from the company you work for, well, then we must scrutinize everything. Every family, and this? I mean, do you have any idea how bad this looks? Husband dead less than a month and you're sleeping in his fucking bed? The one person who survived the explosion, completely unscathed. You know exactly which valve and which tool, don't you? And the reason you were running was to get as far away as you possibly could.
Fuck you.
Fuck you. If she fails to sign and seeks litigation, I will crucify you to destroy her. And I do mean destroy. You will be criminally investigated. Have you been helping her with her finances? Have you sold any of Elvio's belongings? I seem to recall a pretty fancy pickup that's no longer out front. You see where I'm going with this, don't you?
It's not true and you know it.
You're the only one who knows the truth, Cooper. Because you're the only one who survived. And I reject your truth. I think I'll invent my own.
All right, let me have it.
Oh, I plan to. Your son lives with one of the victim's wife. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Didn't think that's information worth sharing?
It's a new development.
Oh, yeah, I'm aware. Because she had a fucking husband 3 weeks ago. What are the odds that on his first day, he just happens to be assigned by you to that workover crew, and on that first day, a pump jack, not a drilling rig, not a workover rig, but a pump jack explodes and kills the husband of the woman he now lives with.
Hang on a second, what are you trying to say?
I'm not done. It turns out that this worm is 2 months from a petroleum engineering degree with a minor in geology. Couple this with the fact that pump jacks are so stable a means of extracting oil, they go unmonitored for years. Years. There are pump jacks installed in the 1930s that are still in use. In fact, pump jacks are so reliable, it would likely take a petroleum engineer to get one to blow. And one happened to be there. What are the odds? What are the odds he is the only witness to survive? And what are the odds he would know to counter on a settlement agreement? It was presented as a payout, not an offer. And just like that, his little girlfriend is a millionaire.
Wait a minute. 400,000 is a fucking insult to this family, and we never go in that low.
My job is to limit liability loss.
Do you know how this company saves money? We buy pipe in bulk when demand is low. We buy leases when everybody's selling. We get our trucks below holdback because I go in and drop 10 grand at Rick's Cabaret on the sales manager. We don't save money from bereavement payments to widows of our fucking friends of ours,
now
okay?
they're friends. Oh.
Yeah, they're friends. I went to the girl's wedding, okay? I see your little plan.
As I was saying, my job is to limit liability loss. Everything you touch has liability.
Yeah, well, welcome to the oil business. And let me tell you something. That explosion was an accident, and you fucking know it. And if you come after my son to heal your little bruised ego, next time it won't be, all right?
That a threat?
Yeah, it's a fucking threat.
Jesus Christ, Tony's my third fucking bypass. Work isn't killing me, it's this fucking busted, rotten heart. That said, I am planning on stepping back. I'm making you vice president of operations. Hell, you're doing the work already, you might as well have the title. And the raise.
Thank you.
What are your thoughts on Rebecca?
We don't need her anymore. And the way she works is a liability.
You know, it's funny, she says the exact same thing about you. I'm offering her a permanent position.
You don't need any more in-house counsel.
I'm offering her vice president of exploration. She's the shrewdest negotiator I've ever seen, and she's an absolute killer.
Monty, she's a lawyer. She don't know anything about oil. She ain't a geologist.
She's got Dale and she's got you.
Well, I just think it's a mistake.
Well, believe it or not, I'm not sitting here asking for your fucking permission. Figure out a way to work with her.
All right.
How is he?
He's a mess, Nate.
Talk to me about my new boss.
I don't know what to say about that.
What's she gonna do? Negotiate surface leases and mineral contracts? She's not a contract attorney, Tommy. She's a litigator who knows nothing about oil and gas.
I know. I told him the same thing.
Monty doesn't make irrational decisions. So what is this? What is the fucking end game here? And what is my job now?
She's just a new shiny penny.
If she negotiates oil leases like she litigates, we won't have any leases to service. Everyone will run for the hills, Tommy.
I know. I'm as shook up as you are about it. Hell, the little summit's supposed to have me fired. They've been pumping oil out of this ground since the 20s. Then in the 80s, it started drying up. By the 90s, it's pretty well played out. This is shale. It goes all the way from here to Midland. So just imagine layer after layer, a solid rock, slapped on top of one another like slices of bread. And between the slices, well, that's your butter. Just figured that out a few years ago. A Chevron spent $53 billion to buy a drilling company to get it out. So we can assume the lease is on 400 wells, but we're gonna have to drill horizontal and we're gonna have to frack it. A deal like that's called a farm out. So we have access to 400 wells. It's gonna cost between $11 and $18 million for each well. We agreed to the first 9, that's $162 million. Now, if we hit on the first 4, that means we're obligated to drill 9 more. If we hit on 4 more, then we're committed to 27. You see where I'm going with that?
I do.
Our deal is that we recoup on strikes to 120%, and then we start revenue sharing. It's a pretty good deal when it's 2% interest, but at 12%, we're bankrupt in a month. It turns out the first 9 are dry holes.
Okay, so what do you want from me?
Well, each strike has to pay for itself, and then it has to pay for the next one. So we got to get ahead of the bank. You have to make a deal that pays for the whole thing on the first home run. Now, Nate here is going to take you through the numbers. Dale will take you through the science. By tomorrow, you'll be a damn expert.
Why new pumps? What's wrong with these?
You mean wells? Too shallow.
How deep do they need to be?
Dale?
Between 10 and 13,000 feet. But you gotta drill at an angle and then you gotta frack it.
Frack it.
You shoot a shit ton of salt water down hole and you squeeze all that oil out of the fractures. Then you pump it up, separate the water. Technology, it changed the game out here.
Yeah, isn't this the technology that's causing earthquakes in Oklahoma?
There were earthquakes in Oklahoma before fracking, ma'am. Okay. Jesus Christ.
Tommy!
Yeah.
Look, you understand, I don't think anyone should be doing this, all right? I think it should be illegal.
Well, then you should have run for Congress instead of getting a job with an oil company.
I have a very hard time advocating for something I believe is wrong.
Says the lawyer. Good and bad don't factor into this, Rebecca. Our great-grandparents built a world that runs on this shit right here. Until it starts running on something else, we gotta feed it, or the world stops. Hey, there is an alternative. You can throw your phone away and trade that Mercedes in for a bicycle or a horse and start hunting for your own food and living in a tent. But you'll be the only one, and it won't make a damn bit of difference. Plus, I hear the moral high ground gets real windy at night.